Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are cracking open an ancient text that honestly reads a lot less like a traditional, stuffy religious doctrine and a whole lot more like the gritty, completely uncensored journal of an ancient king. We are diving headfirst into the book of Ecclesiastes. This is a fascinating philosophical investigation into the human condition, written by a figure simply known as the teacher, who is historically associated with a king in Jerusalem. We're going to treat this text like we're detectives opening up a cold case file, and the ultimate mystery we're trying to solve here, the search for meaning in a completely chaotic, unpredictable world.
And the teacher, he absolutely does not waste any time warming us up. He opens his investigation with this shocking, almost nihilistic thesis. Literally right out of the gate, he declares, meaningless, meaningless, utterly meaningless. Everything is meaningless. I mean, imagine opening a book of ancient wisdom and just getting hit with that. He goes on to compare everything we do to a chasing after the wind. It's an incredibly bold claim, but it instantly hooks us. Is life really just a vapor? Is everything we're constantly striving for just empty? So, to prove this wild thesis, the teacher poses a central, piercing question that's going to drive this entire explainer. What does man actually gain from all his labor under the sun? Just think about the daily grind for a second. Generations come and go, but the earth just sits there, remaining forever. The sun rises, the sun sets, and then it hurries right back to do it all over again. The streams constantly flow into the sea, but the sea is never full. The teacher is looking at the sheer repetitive exhaustion of human existence and asking, seriously, what is the point of all this toilsome labor?
Let's jump right into Section 1, the illusion of success, or chasing after the wind.
Our guy basically figures, hey, if meaning can be bought or built, I'm gonna find it. And just look at the immense scale of what he accomplished. He writes that he undertook these massive, sprawling projects. He built houses, planted huge vineyards, designed gardens and parks, and made reservoirs to water flourishing trees. He amassed unbelievable amounts of silver and gold, essentially collecting the treasure of kings and entire provinces. He bought slaves, acquired singers, and gathered a massive harem. He states point blank that he denied himself nothing his eyes desired, he refused his heart absolutely no pleasure. By any modern standard, this is the ultimate billionaire lifestyle. He became greater by far than anyone in Jerusalem before him.
But then, here comes the absolute gut punch. He literally gets to the very top of the mountain. He has it all. And he writes, yet when I surveyed all that my hands had done and what I had toiled to achieve, everything was meaningless, a chasing after the wind. Nothing was gained under the sun. Unparalleled material success and endless pleasure utterly, completely failed to satisfy his soul. It was just more wind chasing.
What's really wild about this is how perfectly it diagnoses our modern condition. The teacher unpacks exactly why this endless striving makes us so miserable. First, the work itself just becomes pain and grief. Second, the hustle culture literally keeps him awake. He complains that even at night, his mind just won't rest. And finally, there's this ultimate anxiety. You have to leave all your hard-earned wealth to whoever comes after you. And who knows if that successor is going to be wise or a complete fool. All your life's effort could be squandered in a split second by someone who didn't work for it at all.
Moving right along to Section 2, a time for everything, looking at uncontrollable seasons.
So shifting gears, the teacher realizes that life is actually governed by seasons that are entirely outside of human control. There is a profound duality to our existence. As the text says, there's a time to tear down and a time to build. We can't always be in a season of building and growth. Sometimes the universe, or God, dictates a season of tearing down. Destruction and creation are both just inevitable parts of the cycle. And this perfectly captures how our human emotions are tied to that exact same rhythm. There is a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance. We try so incredibly hard to just permanently lock ourselves into the laughing and dancing side of things, right? But the teacher is telling us we cannot manipulate time. The seasons of weeping and mourning are going to come, regardless of how wealthy, successful, or wise we think we are. Now, this brings us to what is easily one of the most incredible tensions in the whole text. The teacher notes, he has made everything beautiful in its time. He has also set eternity in the hearts of men. Yet they cannot fathom what God has done from beginning to end. We humans are completely unique in this way. We have this deep, hardwired desire to understand the big picture. We literally have eternity in our hearts. We desperately want to know the meaning of it all. Yet we are fundamentally incapable of grasping the whole picture of what God is actually doing. We are trapped in time, constantly longing for eternity. So, who actually knows the explanation of things? The teacher throws out this rhetorical question because, well, the honest answer is nobody. No human intellect can fully decode the unpredictability of this world. Even if a totally brilliant person claims they've figured it out, the teacher says they can't really comprehend it. We just have to learn to live within our limits.
All right, let's dive into Section 3, the Great Equalizer, and our inescapable fate.
This realization leads to a deeply heavy and honestly anxiety-inducing phase of his investigation. Just look at the paths of the righteous, the wicked, the wise, and the fool. You would naturally think the universe rewards the good guys and punishes the bad guys, right? But the teacher observes this grievous evil under the sun. They all share the exact same destiny. Whether you are incredibly wise or a total fool, whether you offer sacrifices or you don't, everyone ultimately merges into one final shared outcome. You join the dead. No amount of perfect morality or genius intellect is going to provide an escape hatch from the grave. It is an incredibly stark reality. He writes, "For the living know that they will die, but the dead know nothing. Their love, their hate, and their jealousy have long since vanished." Think for a second about the things that totally consume our daily lives. That intense love, the bitter resentments, the burning professional jealousy. The teacher points out that time eventually just erases all of our strongest earthly passions. Once we're gone, we'll never again have a part in anything that happens under the sun. To really hammer this point home, near the end of his journal, he maps out this highly poetic, beautiful, but kind of haunting timeline of human aging. He urges us to remember our Creator in the days of our youth, way before the days of trouble come. And he describes the physical decline of the body using these vivid metaphors. The keepers of the house tremble, which represents our aging hands and arms. The grinders cease as we start losing our teeth. Ultimately, the silver cord is severed, and man goes to his eternal home. The dust returns right back to the ground it came from, and the spirit returns to God. And because of this shared fate, and the fact that, as he puts it, there is not a righteous man on earth who does what is right and never sins, the teacher strongly warns us against extreme striving. Trying to be perfectly over-righteous or infinitely over-wise just won't save you. You are flawed and you are mortal. Obsessively trying to build a bulletproof legacy or perfect morality to somehow cheat death, that's just another chasing after the wind. Which finally leads us to Section 4, the final conclusion and the ultimate duty of man. Now, at this point, you might be thinking this guy is just a totally depressed cynic. But actually, he's just tearing down all these false hopes so he can build up genuine joy. The crucial takeaway is this: the answer to the meaninglessness of this massive, uncontrollable universe is actually found right in front of you. It's found in the simple, everyday gifts of the present moment. He tells us to eat our food with gladness, drink our wine with a joyful heart, enjoy life with the wife you love during these fleeting days. And importantly, this is absolutely not a call to laziness. He says, whatever your hand finds to do it with all your might. Throw yourself passionately into the present, because there is no working or planning down in the grave. In fact, he repeats this exact realization over and over throughout his journal. A man can do nothing better than to eat and drink and find satisfaction in his work. This, too, I see, is from the hand of God. Accepting your lot in life and finding real joy in your daily normal toil isn't a defeat. It is a profound, incredibly liberating gift from above. You don't have to control the universe. You just have to enjoy the meal, the work, and the relationships you've been given today. And ultimately, the teacher distills this long, exhausting investigation down into one bottom-line definition: the ultimate duty of man. After all the chaos, the wealth, the death, and the fleeting joys, he says, here is the conclusion of the matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For God will bring every deed into judgment, including every hidden thing, whether it is good or evil. Our daily actions do matter. A reverence for the Creator provides the ultimate anchor when everything else under the sun just feels like vapor. Which leaves us with one really big final question to consider as we wrap up this explainer. The teacher absolutely proved that wealth won't save you, time cannot be controlled, and the grave is waiting for all of us. So, knowing that everything under the sun is fleeting, how will you choose to find true satisfaction in the days you've been given? Are you going to keep chasing the wind, or will you accept the gift of today? Thanks so much for exploring this ancient wisdom with me. Take a moment to really think about that, and I'll catch you next time.